Hi everyone, I'm Chao Yan, and I studied digital engineering at the Faculty of Computer Science. In today's interview session, we're going to talk about the course Introduction to Deep Learning. And we are lucky to have the lecturer of this course, Professor Stober, here with us. Let's meet him. Hello, Professor. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Okay, hello. I am Sebastian Stober. I am the head of the Artificial Intelligence Lab at the Faculty of Computer Science, which belongs to the Institute for Intelligent Cooperating Systems. I do my research mostly in the field of deep learning, apply it to multiple fields. So one is analyzing activity that has been recorded from the brain. Then we also working on speech-based interaction with computers and also analyzing and generating music.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to talk about the course Introduction to Deep Learning. So what this course is about, can you give us an overview of it?
Okay. Well, deep learning, I guess many people have heard about, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a very special subfield of machine learning where we work with artificial neural networks. Mm-hmm. And those networks have become increasingly complex over the last years, but also increasingly successful. So they have outperformed a lot of the previously state-of-the-art tasks in many different domains, like speech or image understanding, text analysis, for instance. So many different fields. And so this course is basically giving you an overview of the typical architectures, of the training techniques, of the kind of loss functions, regularizations. So basically it's called an introduction, but it's actually a very advanced course.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good idea to have heard machine learning before that, because it will basically continue from the typical practices of machine learning and then, extend them on the field of artificial neural networks.
Okay, if I get it right, you mean that if the student want to take this course, they have to finish machine learning course first?
I would highly recommend this. So the problem also is because deep learning is so popular nowadays, there are a lot of students who want to take deep learning, and we have very different levels of prior knowledge amongst the students, and we don't have the capacity to offer it for everybody who wants to take it currently. So we've opted for doing a selection process, and for this currently we're looking at whether people have actually done machine learning. So at the current stage, where we have a lot of applications of people who want to take the course, we actually make machine learning a prerequisite.
Okay, sounds very tough for students to get a position in this course.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. So the thing is, last year we actually, when I started teaching here, I thought, okay, I want to offer this to everyone who wants to take it. We took the big lecture hall, which could fit 120 people. We had a little bit more in the first lecture. And we try to accommodate everybody, having enough, exercise groups and so on. But then people quickly dropped out. Okay. And we finished the course with around 25 people, right? And so this year, we thought that was quite a big waste of resources, actually. And so we decided that we would try to select people who were likely to go through with the course and not drop out, right? And so for this year, we limited the number of people to 60.
Okay, 60.
Yeah.
So if the students complete this course successfully, do you offer any kind of project to them?
Well, there are lots of opportunities where you can apply deep learning. So as I said, we're working a lot with brain activity data. This is a strong collaboration that we have with the Leibniz Institute for Neurobiology. They have a lot of really interesting data from various experiments. And they are really looking forward to having us apply deep learning to analyze the data. So there are lots of opportunities. We also, as I said, we're working also on music analysis, music generation. This is something to work on. We have our own speech recognition system that we would like to extend into a fully fledged personal assistant, a little bit like Siri or like Alexa, right? So this is not mean, the goal is not that we go out and offer this as a service and compete with like Google or Amazon, but this is really a learning opportunity for students, right? So gaining experience in this new technology, which I think is going to be really important in the future. Okay. So there are opportunities, and also for the summer term, we're also planning on a first project in robotic applications. Okay. So looking at how we can improve lawnmower robots to be more intelligent than just like, you know, those that are out there. They're kind of stupid if you really look at it. They don't have a lot of intelligence in there yet.
Oh yeah, of course. So if the students really are really into this area and they want to strengthen their deep learning knowledge, are there any subsequent course after this introduction to deep learning?
So this basically falls into a longer curriculum with a focus on deep learning. So after this introduction, there's actually a follow-up lecture that is taught in the summer term. So they're both alternating. Basically, you take Introduction to Deep Learning in the winter term, you take the other course, which is called Learning Generative Models, in the summer term. And this will directly build upon everything you learned in the introduction lecture, and it will cover more advanced techniques, basically.
Okay, so your option for students is like for winter semester, take Introduction to Deep Learning, and for summer semester, take the following course.
Yes.
Okay, so what about the master thesis? If the student completed Introduction to Deep Learning, do you offer the master thesis topic to the students?
Sure. I mean, like always, I would encourage that the student proposes a thesis topic himself or herself. I think this is from the point of motivation. This is much better because then you have this intrinsic motivation. You have a topic that you're really interested in, that you want to investigate, that you're curious about, that you care about, and I think this helps much more to get you on a good trajectory to have a successful thesis. But if you don't have any idea, we usually have many ideas for potential topics. I get actually contacted by a lot of students asking me they want to do deep learning in some application, and I usually say it's a good idea to take the course first, right? Because we don't have the possibility to teach every student while they're on the project, right? So the natural sequence would be take the course first, then do a project afterwards, right?
Okay, so students care about their scores all the time. So, do you know any common mistakes that students make so they end up with bad scores or even failing the exam?
Yeah. So we haven't talked about the course concept yet, right? So I'd like to emphasize this here. Those two courses, Introduction to Deep Learning and Learning Generative Models, they're not like usual lectures. They're so-called flipped classrooms. And for them, it works like this. You have to read and prepare at home, and then you come to the lecture, and I'm not going to stand in front and tell you everything. But instead, you are going to be active and talk to your fellow students and discuss things and work in groups. And of course, sometimes I will talk also, right? But the whole idea is that the time is much better spent if you prepare yourself at home with a book, because why would I stand in the front and read to you from a book, right? You can read yourself in the own pace that is best for you. And then in the lecture, we can actually clarify whatever you didn't understand, and we can emphasize the most important points and so on. So in order to be successful with such a lecture, you really have to prepare. Right? So you can't just go to the lecture and then sit back and say, oh, let them tell me what I need to know. Basically, that's not how it works. And so people who drop out actually don't prepare. Right? That's the most common mistake. You really, if you want to learn this, you have to be active.
Okay, so the basic idea is do much reading and do prepare yourself well. For this. Okay, so before we finish this interview, do you have any general suggestion for students?
Oh, quite a few actually. So this goes with the lecture as well, but I think they also apply in general. So what I find oftentimes is that students are really afraid of making mistakes. Right? I see this in the lecture, right? They are not bold enough to make some claims, or they are when they are to apply deep learning in a project, right? They always want to do things perfect in the first attempt, right? They're afraid that they make mistakes. But this way, oftentimes they are kind of not moving at all, right?
Okay.
Afraid of doing the first step and doing the wrong step, they're not moving at all. And that's a very, very common thing I see across students. And so you should be more bold and curious and courageous and open to making mistakes, because mistakes, especially in a field where we have like, when we are in a lecture, in a course, you can make mistakes. Nobody gets hurt, right?
Yeah.
The mistakes are a great opportunity to learn. And so embrace making mistakes, right? But don't make them twice, right? So learn from your mistakes and then improve. And actually, when we do machine learning or deep learning, most often the first solution will not be perfect. It will just be like a pure first attempt.
Yeah, of course.
And then you will basically from the mistakes or from the mistakes the model makes, you will learn how to improve the model in the next iteration, and this will be like an iterative improvement process. And so this is really important, that you understand that the first solution will not be the best, right? There's from everything you learn how to improve, and even like when you do your master's thesis, you won't have the perfect solution in the end, because while you're working on it, you will realize how this can be improved, but you won't have the time to do this within your thesis. So usually at the end, you will say, well, I have like 10 more ideas how to improve this, right? This would be a great master's thesis if you have this in the end, right? And so I would like students to be, more open to making mistakes. The second thing that I would like to promote, and this is something I'd like to encourage also in my lectures, is that students help each other, right? So learning to do deep learning right is tough. It's often a misconception that it's like, oh, I read this book, I read this blog post, I know how to do this. No, it's really tough to get it working, especially when you're then trying to program things and to get things implemented. You will see that there are a lot of details that you can get wrong. And but I want you to know you're not on your own, right? So we are there to help, so me and the tutors, but also your fellow students. And everybody can help each other, right?
Yes.
So, and I'd like to build a community of people working collaboratively, right? And I can see that this is improving already in the lecture, but I'd like to see this also across the faculty. Right. I mean, I already see like with the international students having like the international students program, right, and the support structures. There's already some community feeling there, but I'd like to extend this to the lectures. And don't work on your own. If you get stuck somewhere, ask people. Okay. And if you know the answer, help others. Okay. Right? Because explaining something to others will also help you to get a better understanding of what you're explaining. Of course. Right.
So basically 2 points is first one, a student shouldn't be afraid of making mistakes, and second, do help each other.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.